Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Duke CT here. This the Raw Thoughts, and well, I got some for you. And man, this show, this show. First things first. Miz, the Miz coming out with Miz TV with Morrison, and it was a fine thing. And then Randy Orton come out, came in spitting hot fire. Then after that, you had Drew McIntyre, you had a New Day come out. They were mocking the Randy and Miz and Morrison. And then Randy just RKO's one of them, and then bam, Drew McIntyre comes out, leaves the house fire. But Drew McIntyre gets hit in the back with the Money Break briefcase and gets RKO'd and laid out by Randy Orton. Fun segment, but a way to get you pumped up. I think so. Next up is a Jeff Hardy versus Riddle versus Elias second chance triple threat Survivor Series qualifying match. Decent match. Riddle had some good stuff. Also Elias and Jeff Hardy. I honestly don't care for Riddle. Still don't, but he's decent in the ring. And he wins, and now he's a part of the Survivor Series match, which is very good. Hopefully that they will somehow gel together, but this is not the end of Riddle for the rest of the night. You'll see more of him. Next up, you have Mustafa Ali and telling Ricochet that he is an honorable man, but a fool for thinking he could do all this alone, and he is going to welcome him into Retribution if he wants it, and saying that that's type of stuff. And honestly, I don't care, because Retribution are jokes, and quite honestly, no one should care about them. Next up, you have R-Truth. Hurt Business takes out Drew Gulak, trying to join the Hurt Business because, hey, won the 24/7 championship because of the Hurt Business, because of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley took down R-Truth, and then Drew Gulak got hurt as well, and then he was laid atop of R-Truth to win the 24/7 championship. He thought he could win, but then I thought he could get in the Hurt Business, but he had a clip-on tie, and they do not like that, so they laid him out. R-Truth came in, covers, becomes a new 24/7 champion. And trust me, this is not the last time we see Drew Gulak or R-Truth tonight. Next up, we have Sonya Baszler taking on Lana. This was short, and you had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke out there saying, "Why is Lana out here?" See, they were just saying Lana's just getting into a business, and I don't know why she's here and such. Not really giving much love to Lana. Lana is not the best, and Lana's not the one here, because she loses handily to Shayna Baszler. But before she gets put to a table, she is saved by Mandy and Dana. So they're saying not letting her through a table, which is good. By Nia Jax, but whatever. Anyway, AJ Styles is trying to unite people because he's captain, and then you have before that whole thing, he had a segment earlier in the night saying, "Hey, Sheamus says, you are not my captain," and Strowman says, "You're not my captain." I thought you were gonna have Lee and Matt Riddle saying, "You're both not captain. You're not my captain." Just like like I am Spartacus or whatever. But anyway. AJ is trying really hard to get this team focused for Survivor Series, and I like this goofy AJ. We saw this bit on the back in the days of Impact Wrestling, or TNA if you want to call it, the Christian Coalition. AJ Styles being a complete and utter goofball. I love it. It's great. It's really cool. That's AJ can be a goofball, but he can kick your ass. He's great at that, and I think I like seeing that more from that. Anyway. They had called a team meeting. Riddle says, we did these new team names because Braun Strowman, Mongoose, AJ, Skipper, Keith Lee is Broly, and Sheamus says Fireface. Oh, because it's Ginger joke, ha. And he calls Riddle dopey, and then they just they're getting angry and such. They just say, no. I made myself a match. They're going to make a match, a tag team match of Keith Lee and Riddle taking on Strowman and Sheamus, with him as the referee slash captain. He has a referee shirt and the captain thing there, which is hilarious. And then, well, the tag match went off with with many shenanigans, as you have AJ get hit by, I think, Riddle, then Sheamus, and then having Keith Lee and Strowman just squish him and knock him out. And then you look like, oh my God, it's the big dude's about to do, the big black dude about to come in, the former super giant ninja and such. He was going to do something, but no, we don't see that thing. He just goes back outside the ring and such. And then, well, it breaks down. Sheamus and Strowman don't have any chemistry. They can't get on the same page. And then, well, Sheamus kicks Strowman off the rope, and then Riddle pins him to win, as Keith Lee and Riddle seems to be on the same page, and Strowman and Sheamus are not. And AJ is like, well, crap, he has more work to do to bring this team together. Next, you have next segment, Alexa Bliss and the Fiend. Chooses the Fiend over Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross trying to talk her back to get Alexa back to the light side, but Alexa Bliss still wants to play with the Fiend. And, well, she let the Fiend in, and there you go. And I think this hopefully will not end the feud here or whatever, but I think Nikki Cross can hopefully bring her back to the light side. Honestly, I'm surprised they went with this. Nikki Cross not going to be, not being the disturbed one here. And hopefully maybe this stuff is going to bring that out. Maybe the Fiend drives Nikki going back to her old self, thinking that maybe that's the way to save Alexa, but in the end traps Alexa and Nikki, and have like a Fiend be like the pseudo godfather and such. So that could be something. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully Nikki Cross saves Alexa Bliss. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley with a MVP coming out with news saying that they, the Hurt Business might be getting more championships, as Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are going to challenge New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championship next week. So they could be ones facing the Street Profits and Survivor Series best of the best. But before they get into that, you have a little bit of a promo against Sami Zayn. And, well, they just said they were going to destroy Sami Zayn on Survivor Series. But then Titus ONeil comes out, complaining that, hey, you laid me down a couple weeks ago. Now I'm back for my revenge. And he wants to take down Bobby Lashley. Lashley's like, you know what? That we'll give you a U.S. Championship shot as well. And Titus ONeil have a little bit of a fight in him, but in the end, Bobby hits a spear, gets the full Nelson on him. He struggled a bit, but in the end got the full arms, and then bam, that was it. It was over. Titus ONeil taps out, and Bobby Lashley retains the United States Championship, having stronger momentum going to Survivor Series. And then you have next segment, Sheamus approaches Drew McIntyre about, saying this whole team is going crazy, the Survivor Series and stuff, and it just seems that there's no real, he's like, he's going down to Drew's like, yeah, calm down. And he talked about old stuff and old times, and they, it seems like they're going back and having good old times, and this seems nice. And Sheamus seems to be being more positive and such. That's great. And then in the background, you see Mercy the Buzzard and the Fiend having a bit of a presence, even though he's not there. So that's interesting. Then you have a United States Armed Forces video from WWE and such, well produced and really good stuff for WWE. As always with the United States Armed Forces stuff, they always have well produced videos and showing their stars with them as well. That's always good. Next up, Asuka versus Nia Jax with Sasha Baszler of ringside. Also, Mandy Rose, Lana, and Dana Brooke at ringside as well. The matches, well, I like the fact that, oh man, Hey, who's the announcer who actually? I got the black announcer. I got to see W. Let's see. Who's the announcing? Let's see. Who's the announce team? It's Gosh, there has to be. Oh, Brian Saxton. Oh yeah, that dude. Brian Saxton said that Nia Jax and Asuka could be a WrestleMania main event. I'm like, bruh. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, this was a decent match. But then it turned to a smalls as Shayna Baszler came in and DQ'd Nia Jax, and then you had everybody come in and fight each other, and then the women tag champions get control, and well, Nia Jax plus Lana and plus table equals destroyed announced table once again, and Nia Jax saying quit. You're not really a part of, like, you can't hang with us. Quit. And I'm asking the storyline, what's the main goal at this point? Because Nia Jax continuing destroying Lana is what exactly? What is it leading up to? What is this happen? Is it going to have Lana put Nia Jax to a table? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Next is the R-Truth versus Grand Mountain versus Lince Dorado versus Eric versus Gulak versus Tozawa versus Tucker 7-man 24/7 title match. By the way, I like the opening bit. Like, R-Truth's like, oh well, what's going on? He said I thought it was gonna be a 7-shoot thing for like GQ. I got my clip-on tie, the same clip-on tie Drew Gulak had, and said like, crap, you can't punch a guy with a clip-on tie or his glasses. I gotta find glasses. Then his hits, and well, it doesn't look good for R-Truth as he loses the title to Akira Tozawa. Then Eric takes down Akira Tozawa. Then you have Tucker pin Tucker with new tights, but still greasy, wins it. Then Drew Gulak pins him, wins it, and then Drew Tucker comes him and wins it. Then you have Grand Medical Leak pins Tucker to him to win the championship. Then Lince Dorado pins him to win the 24/7 championship. And then you have Drew, I think, Truth pinning Lince Dorado to regain his 24/7 championship. And then he just kicks his heels up and then runs off into the back while everyone's chasing him. R-Truth is the only bright star on Monday Night Raw. In fact, only one of the few bright stars in WWE these days, which is good. Next up is the Ricochet versus Ali, and honestly, it was a really fun match. These guys worked really hard, but I think, to me, a match like this needs to have story. It needs to have a purpose. Because, again, it's the problem with most Monday Night Raw matches. It's like, they only do this for, because it's time. Like, well, they have time to have the great match, but there's no story, no build-up, nothing. Nothing really connects me to this match story. I mean, Ali is fighting for Retribution, which has been made to look like a joke, and Ricochet, since getting the number one contendership for the WWE Championship earlier this year, has been made to look like he's either been forgotten or a joke. So, quite honestly, you have two people who are just jokes and bench warmers and jokes for the most part this year, having this epic match, but it means nothing. It means nothing. And that's a shame because, again, these are talented wrestlers, but they have to have meaning in their matches. But at the end of the day, Ali takes down Ricochet and thus becomes the first one to lose to a Retribution member. So, yeah, Ricochet truly is the biggest loser in WWE. And then we get to our main event, the 6-man tag. New Day, the tag team champions with Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton and Miz and Morrison. And before the match begins, Randy Orton was told by Adam Pearce that he's defending his WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre next week before SummerSlam. Survivor Series. I just don't care. You see, I just don't care. So now I'm not even edit that out. This is a vlog, so I don't care. But yeah, the match is decent. Randy Orton doesn't even get tagged in because he's like preparing himself to he wants to finally fight Drew McIntyre on his own terms. And by the way, I thought rematches were banned from this company for some reason, but I don't know. It looks like, it might be. I think Randy's going to retain here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Miz cashes into next week, or maybe the week after, or maybe Survivor Series, which make things more interesting. But overall, though, this was a decent match, and Drew McIntyre stands tall as he's took down Morrison. Look, Raw is just way too long, and it just the camera angles with like Retribution coming out was terrible. Everything just drains you. Monday Night Raw drains you, and I hate that. I just wish the show could have been, cut the stuff down, and you can have a very tight show. That's what WWE needs to do with Raw. But we had to have a 3-hour Raw because, well, it's the only way to people that actually can care about, these big matches and such like Ali and Ricochet. But even though there's no real purpose for it, and storage just hit big moves for the sake of big moves, which is what WWE is now known for with these matches and such. Seriously, just cut the show down to 2 hours or maybe an hour and 30, and it'd be a lot better. But that's just me. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. So, yeah, I did not enjoy Raw tonight. And I'm going to watch Raw again next week, and maybe the go-home show will be better. Maybe it'll make the time go a little bit faster. Maybe the pacing will get better. But for what I'm standing right now, it hasn't. Anyway, it's Duke CT here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.